Welcome. This is Suneeth. In this video, I would like to get you introduced to the Servlet technologies. What is Servlet? Servlet technology is used to create a web application. What do you mean by web application? Let's see as in the next slide. And Servlet is an API that provides many interfaces and classes, including documentations. So now, what is web application? Web application is an application accessible from the web. A web application is composed of web components like servlets, JSPs, filters, and many other server-side programs. And it also have another components such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, like such many. The web components typically execute in a web server and respond to HTTP request, or it may be any kind of request. The web server is responsible for its response. What are the advantages of learning a Servlet? Servlet is basically a Java program. So all the advantages you get with a Java program are also there with the advantages of the Servlet. The best I shown here the four basic advantages of Servlet. It has a better performance and it has a portability, it has robustness, and it is secure language. The robustness and the portability and secureness is due to the Java programming, and the better performance is due to the processes or the servlets are created using the threads. And now, what is a servlet API? Java X.Servlet and Java X.Servlet.http are the two packages in which the servlet API is being there. So what is Java X.Servlet.package and what is Java X.Servlet.http package? Why are there two packages? So basically the first package, Java X.Servlet, is a protocol independent package. There you no need it does not depend upon the protocol in which it used. It can be any protocol like HTTP or any other protocol, but Java X.Servlet.http is protocol dependent, means only accepts the request of the HTTP protocol. The next one. So let's come to our point of how to create an servlet. Basically the servlet can be created using the three ways: by implementing the servlet interface, by extending the generic servlet class, and by extending the HTTP servlet class. Let's see how to implement a servlet interface. Servlet interface. It provides the behaviors to the servlets. What are the methods present in the servlet interface? There are 5 abstract methods that are present in the servlet interface. The first one is public void init, public void service, public void destroy, public server, and public servlet config get servlet config, and the next one is public string get value. Let's see what does the init method do. Init method initializes the servlets. It is executed for only once at the creation of the servlet. Public void service. The service method provides responses for the incoming request. It is invoked at each and every time when the request is given to the web container. What is the destroy method? It indicates that the servlet is been destroyed. Servlet config get servlet config. Servlet config is an object created by the web container for each servlet to pass the information to servlet interface during the initialization process. And the next method, the string method, returns the information related to the servlet, such as the writer, the copyright versions, or any such type of information related to the servlet is been get through the servlet info. The next one, generic servlet class. The previous one is an interface, and now this is a class. What is the difference between the interface and an abstract class? In interface you need to override all the 5 methods, but in the case of abstract class you no need to override all the methods. So you can reduce your programming code. You can select the any of these 5 methods and you can run your servlet program. So basically you need the service method, because the service is the only method that is used for requesting your request your commands and like sends your response. So service method. That's about the generic servlet class. It is an abstract class. The next one, HTTP servlet. HTTP servlet is an abstract class given in Java X.servlet.http package. HTTP package, as I already said you before, it is a protocol dependent package. It only accepts the protocol from the HTTP servlet. This HTTP servlet is inherited from the generic servlet class. And the generic servlet, what is the difference between this generic servlet class and HTTP servlet class? Because the main difference is that the generic servlet class is extended from Java X.servlet package, and the HTTP servlet is from the Java X.servlet.http package. This is the protocol independent class, and this is protocol dependent class. That's the only basic difference between the generic servlet and the HTTP servlet. And these are the few methods that are present in the HTTP servlet. And the important one, the public void service, is present in all those. The important two methods in these are the do-get and the do-post methods. The do-get and the do-post methods, we are sending the servlet request, HTTP servlet request, and we are getting the response. So it handles the get request, it is invoked by the web container. What is this do-get about? In this do-get method, when you use this do-get method, the parameters are appended to the URL. If you send a value from the HTML from your HTML or a client to the server, those values get appended to the URL. So the major drawback of do-get method is it allows only a small amount of data. You cannot exceed more than 1024 bytes of data, or it's called as 1024 bytes of data packets. But in the case of do post, this does not takes place. In do post method, there would be no appending of any URLs, so your data is secured. For example, think about your login activity. You are sending your username and password. When your password get appended to URL, it's a security issue. So we would for most of the login applications, we use the do post method. So that's a basic difference between the do get and the do post method. These are the two main methods, and these are the other methods that are present. And the next one, yeah, let's create a servlet. How are we going to create a servlet? To create a servlet, first you need to install a server on your machine. Basically, the most famous server is Apache Tomcat server. And how to work with this, we have the few steps to be followed. We need to create a directory structure, we need to create a servlet, we need to compile a servlet, we need to create a deployment descriptor. This deployment descriptor is nothing but your Web Dot Xml file, which gives the relations between the HTML and your server. And now you need to start your server, deploy your project, and access your servlet. So what is a directory structure? Your directory structure, it contains basically about the first one is the web app folder. It may be any of the username, and a subfolder in this is web.inf, and the subfolder of this is classes. In classes you have your servlet Java files like .class files and .java files. Again, another one in the web.inf is web.xml, the XML file, and other one is the lib folder. Lib folder contains of about any OJDBC jar files or any such files are present in your library file. The other contents like HTML and images are present in the main directory itself. So now I think it's enough of reading. Now let's go and create some basic servlet using a servlet interface. Yeah, now I've already created a folder. This is the main first folder. I have named it as service, and let's open the folder. We have a web.inf folder. Let's open this. We have the classes folder. In classes folder you have your servlet files. The first one is the service.java. Let's open this. This is the first one. This is the basic program of a servlet. In the first line we are importing the IO package. In the second line we are importing the servlet package, And the next one, we are implementing the servlet interface, and the servlet config is the configuration is set to null. And this is the init method. In init method, you are setting your configurations, and this is a system.out.println, and the servlet is initialized. It prints a message onto the your server console. And there is the public void service method. Service method gives two parameters, the request parameter and the response parameter, and it throws the IO exceptions and the servlet exceptions. And the print writer is the object that is used to write your things onto the browser. And this is the basic HTML code. There's nothing much code, it's just printing a line called as hello simple servlet. And this is the destroy method. In destroy method also we have just written a system.out.println. And servlet config, we have set config, and get info, we are returning some information. So now let's the next thing after you execute after you type this code is you need to compile it. So open your command prompt, javac start.java. Start.java means it compiles all the Java files that are present in your folder. So now the file has been compiled, and your .class file has also been generated. Now let's go back and create Web Dot Xml. Let's open this. I think you know about the Web Dot Xml. You have all the tags as a user defined tags. There would be no predefined tags as in HTML. The user defined tag, the first one is web app. It says about it's a web application. The second one is a servlet, and now the third line is about the servlet name. The name of the servlet is ABCD. It's your own name. The next one is the servlet class. It's a service.java, the previous program name. It's the dot class file gets loaded here. And next you are closing your servlet, and now again you are opening your servlet mapping, and the mapping interface, you are giving your servlet a name as ABCD. And the next one is the servlet the URL pattern you are giving it as first. The URL pattern must start with an backslash, and you close your servlet mapping, and you close your web application. When you give your URL in your website, it searches for this first, and next matches it with the servlet name as ABCD. This ABCD matches with the servlet name here ABCD, and this name gets and after that the servlet class service gets invoked. Now what we have to do, let's open our now you need to deploy your application onto the server. So now go to the place where you have installed your Tomcat server. In my case it is Apache Tomcat 8.5. Open this. You have web apps. Open this. Just go to the place where this is there. Copy it and just paste it here. I have already pasted it as a service. Now after pasting it, this kind of deploying is called as hard deployment. So you have deployed your service onto your server. Now let's start the server. The server is getting it's requesting for the permission. You say yes. The server gets started. Yeah, the server got started. Now let's go and open our browser, and now let's request for our URL pattern. So http //localhost 5051 is my port number where my Tomcat server is there. The main folder name is service, and the URL pattern which you specified was first. So request it, enter. It has displayed it, hello simple servlet, and you have written your init method. Where is that printing it? Servlet is initialized. Okay, now let's close this. The servlet is initialized, and then this is basically about your servlet interface. Now let's see another one by using generic servlets. This is the folder that I have created for the generic servlet, and this is web.inf, and this is classes, and this is the program. Let's see how the programs are. See how the code has been reduced. The previous code was about 27 lines approximately, but now it's just a 11-line program. But the thing it's doing is the same. It's printing the same welcome to servlets. Now what are we doing in this program? The first one is the same as importing your java.x.servlet, and second one is for importing your java.io, and the third one is welcome servlet is a name of the program, and it is extending the generic servlet. It is a class. So we need only this service method. So we need to give two parameters, the request and the response, and it throws the exceptions. Create a print writer object, and write your HTML code here and close your print writer object. The same way compile your code, write your XML program, and the same as you did previously, copy this, copy it, open your web apps folder. Where it is there in my computer, local disk C, Apache, foundations.net 8.0, web apps, and paste it here. It is already there, my servlet. Now what's the URL that you have used here? Let's check it out. Here you have used first. What have you used? The URL pattern is the same. It is the first, the same, and your servlet class is different. Welcome servlet. So now let's go to the Google browser. Request http://local host 5051 / my servlet first, enter. The same welcome servlet, the same output. That's fine. Now let's try with http servlet. Let's open it. This is a http folder that I have created. Let's open it. Web.inf, classes, demo servlet.java. Open it. You see the code. Here you are using the method. This is the same as javax.servlet.http and servlet class and IO package. This is the name of the class, the request object and the response object, and the exceptions. Response.set content. That's all. And this is the pw.println, and close your println. The basic thing you have to now recognize here is you are writing your code in a do-get method. As I said to you, the do-get method appends the appends the parameters to the URL. Now let's go and compile this. After compiling, you will get your .class file. Now open your web.xml. Let's see. Yeah, the URL pattern you have specified here is welcome. Let's just go through this web.xml file. Now let's go to this browser. http://local host 5051 /http/welcome. Enter. See, that's a welcome to servlet, the same thing. Yeah. and this is, yeah, yeah, and you people are done with the basic Servlet programming. This some it's a basic programming, the basic programming that you need. And thank you for watching. Any comments? And thank you for watching.